Don't let them trick you and rile you up like this for us, because they gave us this Indian woman and she playing black. See, the good thing about Kamala, homie, is she watched black people. Because she's not black, she watched us from an Indian's household. Her Indian mother, Jamaican father who left, she was raised Indian with the red dot on her head. She watched us and went to school, so she learned how to act black. She learned how to look black and embrace the culture so she can be black. That's where she learned about civil rights at, because Indians don't have civil rights. They never fought back. She watched our people fight for civil rights. And she learned the game and went and married a Peckerwood white boy with white children. You think she know our struggle as a black woman?
We all know that Vice President Kamala Harris is running for president of the United States against Donald Trump. And just for the sake of keeping the peace, we're going to try to keep politics out of this for the most part. Most people view Kamala as an inspiration, a powerhouse of a woman who is paving the way for women everywhere to do important work, breaking that glass ceiling, breaking up the governmental boys club, and all that. But what if I told you that I was today years old when I found out that's not a thing? That Kamala is actually misrepresenting her race to get the black vote? What actually is Kamala Harris's race? Let's get into it. Nobody in this day and age would be crazy enough to lie about their race in a bid to win votes to become the leader of the free world during a time that we've got more access to info than ever, right? Wrong. Kamala Harris has always claimed to be both black and Indian.
Worked hard, and she was full of pride and would never want anyone to ever pity her. She never complained about anything. But I also knew how she suffered. I knew how she stayed up late at night trying to figure things out. She was a brown woman with an accent. I remember going into, a store and us being followed. I remember how people would look at my mother and make certain assumptions about her intelligence or her capacity or her right to belong. As the eldest child, you see this. My mother was very well aware that she was raising two black girls to be two black women.
But there are a lot of rumors that this isn't the whole story. There's proof that they aren't rumors too. This TikTok user did an ancestry DNA test and alleged that she discovered she's related to both Harris and the late, great Aaliyah.
I'm overwhelmed. I got some ancestry results, and if you're a black person and you've done your ancestry DNA and you have been working on your family tree, there's a lot of information out there that you might not know about. I just got connected with a cousin that I didn't even know existed, because there's a side of my family that ended in the 50s. My father's father passed away when he was a baby, so we don't know that side of the family. We know, I think we met a great uncle in the 80s, but that's it. Just found a cousin who lives 30 minutes away from me. And that's not all. We're also related to Kamala Harris and Aaliyah.
I know what you're thinking, not them dragging Aaliyah's name into this genetic nonsense, but it actually may have done some good. Users went on to find that Kamala and Aaliyah share ancestors back from the 1800s. And here's what Kamala and Aaliyah's great-grandparents look like. The problem is this though, they had to go all the way back to the 1800s to find a black person in Kamala's family. This person wrote, not they had to go back to the 1800s to find a full black family member for Kamala. And also, if you have to go all the way to the 1800s, which was more than 120 years ago, to find a full black relative in your family, you are not black, LOL. Kamala is multiracial and mixed at best, and a non-white POC woman, but she's not black. African ancestry. In fact, the rumors about Kamala's race even made their way to music legend Janet Jackson, and she spoke on them in an interview with The Guardian. The thing is though, the reporter really wrote the piece to make Jackson look bad. If you don't know, Janet Jackson did something really influential back in the day when she put out Rhythm Nation, which discussed things like inequality, racism, and poverty all on a pop track that was pretty easy to get down to. I'd be lying if I said I don't remember the choreography to it myself. The reporter asked her if she's down about how little changes happened since she put the track out, and she said, well, there's all this child trafficking crap that's going on and sex trafficking crap. You know what I mean? That wasn't so prevalent then. At least we didn't know about it back then. I don't think we did we? I think it's really now out in the open because it's like $1 billion business and all that crap. The reporter wrote snarky stuff about Janet's observation about trafficking, such as, it's a strange about turn, not least because of the many allegations of child sexual abuse made against Michael. I wonder what internet rabbit holes she's been going down. Then they asked about the change that could potentially come with Kamala Harris being poised to be the first black female president, to which Janet replied, well, you know what they supposedly said? She's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. The reporter said she's both, and she said her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white. Since then, Janet Jackson has been dragged online and on TV by celebrities, talk show hosts, and just random internet citizens.
Roland Martin this time, they sent out D.L. Hughley, and we know what the DL stands for. And this is what he had to say.
Diddler.
Janet Jackson's interview sounded like a Trump rally. FYI, it's a little ironic to question whether someone is black while you're breathing through the nose of a white woman.
Oh, he did.
I can't believe that he just disrespected Janet like that. He goes further and says, Kamala Harris looks the way she does because she has a mom from India and a dad from Jamaica. Janet Jackson looks the way she does because she has a plastic surgeon.
Oh.
I personally can't believe anybody came at Janet Jackson that way. That was wild. But he's not the only one coming for her. Check out what got said on The View about her.
Janet Jackson just did a wide-ranging interview with British newspaper The Guardian, but most of the focus is on when she was asked her thoughts on VP Kamala Harris possibly becoming the first black female president. She said, she answered by saying that she had heard that Harris's father was white, which we all know is false. And a staffer claims that he was fired for issuing an apology in her name and that her team certified he wasn't authorized to speak on her behalf. Now, Jackson has not responded to requests for comment, but no matter how you feel about celebs speaking out politically, you know, is it okay for somebody to say, you know, I mean, you know, I don't know, I made a mistake.
And whether you're a celebrity or not has a right to endorse, support, or not support whomever they want. So she's got every right to not like Kamala Harris if she doesn't want to.
But that's not what she said.
What she doesn't know, what she did was spread misinformation.
What she said was worse.
And I think it's very irresponsible when you have a platform the way Janet Jackson does to use that platform carelessly to spread misinformation based on a racist allegation by Donald Trump, right? It was Donald Trump who tried to say Kamala Harris just turned black. So let's just go through the one.
They are right. Donald Trump did speak on Kamala's heritage.
Sir, do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always
Now, if you're one of those people that make up half the country that don't trust his word, I get it. If it was just Trump, I wouldn't trust it either. But a lot more people have said that Kamala is black other than the former Cheez-It-in-Chief. Check out all of these headlines about Jackson's interview. Janet's alleged manager, Mo El-Masri, went to BuzzFeed and issued an apology for her, saying that her words were based on misinformation and said she apologized for any confusion caused. But Janet's team was quick to say he didn't speak for her and then fired him. So she is standing 10 toes down on what she said. She's gonna die on this hill saying Kamala isn't black. And with the information I've found, I can't say I blame her. It doesn't get more clear than a family tree and an ancestry DNA test, does it? Candace Owens has been boots on the ground investigating Kamala's heritage, too.
I don't know. I guess I really am the person that has been in these streets, Kamala, because I decided to simply look into her genealogy, because why on earth is the world trying to convince me that this woman is suddenly black? Like they just decided she was black because she's running and because there is evidence, it is true, that her father grew up in Jamaica. Your race does not magically change because of where you grow up, okay? If I grow up in Sweden, I don't get to suddenly say I'm white, okay? And what I discovered was quite startling. Now, I'll ask you, when did you first get the idea that Kamala was black? Well, you'll say, yeah, when she kind of started running with Joe Biden. And that claim really came from Kamala herself. When they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, they understood that Kamala Harris published a book in 2019 called The Truth That We Hold. And presumably the book was filled with truth that she was holding. I had to look through it. And I saw this picture of her.
This also comes from her book and is a picture of her paternal grandfather.
To investigate that, and immediately things got weird, very weird. First and foremost, because it was very easy for me to determine via just a light search online that Beryl, her alleged paternal grandmother that you just saw, died 4 years before Kamala was born in 1960. So last night we decided to continue our research to see if we could find birth certificates and marriage certificates and death certificates, which could further signify those points, and indeed it did.
All right, tell me how Kamala's paternal grandmother died before she was born and she still got a picture with her. Who is that black lady in that picture? Candace